Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Tonight I want to tell you a story from my early days in Japan. The time I got arrested in Tokyo. Back then I was working at a research institution. My colleague and friend, Robert, or Rob as we fondly call him, was finishing up his time in Japan and moving back to the US. He asked me if I wanted his bicycle, and I said yes. I asked him if there was any kind of paperwork needed. He shrugged and said, "I think no. I've been riding it for several months with absolutely zero problems." So, on the day he was leaving, after work, he brought me to this rusty, old, girly bike. Well, beggars can't be choosers. So I said my goodbyes, got on the bicycle, and started pedaling. Literally, a few minutes later, I read past a Koban. At the time, I didn't even look at it. But suddenly, I hear the sound of heavy footsteps running behind me and a very out-of-breath voice yelling, "Sorry, stop please." I pulled over. It's a police officer, huffing and puffing. He politely asks, "Sorry, is this bike yours?" I was completely surprised by the whole situation. I said, "Yes, my friend Rob just gave it to me." The officer's face went from full red from the running to completely livid. I thought he was going to pass out. He looked at me, horrified, and said, "Robbed? You robbed the bike?" I said, "What? No, my friend Robert just gave it to me." He checked the registration number of the bike, which was on a small sticker I hadn't noticed before, and politely asked me to follow him into the Koban. "Sure," I said. While sitting in the Koban, my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, sent me a message asking if everything was okay. I replied, "Yes, no problem, just a quick misunderstanding with the police." Haha, I was so naive back then. In the meantime, the officers started interrogating me. Where I am from, where do I work, where am I going to? I told him I was actually on my way to meet my girlfriend, Akiko, and I pulled out my iPhone to show him my wallpaper with the photo I had taken of her. He looks surprised and exclaims, no way, this is magazine." He said, Thank you, but to be honest, to this day, I still don't know if he was complimenting my girlfriend in my photo or if he just didn't believe I was dating her at all. He asked me to wait for a bit. A police car with lights blazing just parked outside. He comes back in and tells me, "We need to go to the Kanda police station. Can you go inside the car?" I looked at the bike and asked, "How about the bike?" He replies, "Don't worry, we will bring the bike there later." That's when I realized my whole evening was ruined. To be honest, I never panicked or was too worried. My parents raised me to always tell the truth, and I felt I didn't do anything wrong, so there was nothing to fear. When we arrived, they took me downstairs to the interrogation room. Then came the mugshot with the proper serial number plate, and then the fingerprints. Or was it the other way around? Anyway, I sat there thinking, damn, I am officially being arrested right now. What will be next? Handcuffs? So before that happened, I sent another message. "Sorry, maybe it's better if you come get me at Kanda police station." "What happened?" she replied, but I didn't have time to explain more. More police officers entered. One was an interpreter, the others were maybe detectives. I interacted with the interpreter the most, while the others listened, and I explained the whole story again, being very careful now with the words I choose this time. I told them I got the bike from my coworker Robert, and Robert got the bike from his professor Tanimoto sensei. The detective said many things back and forth with the interpreter. I could pick up some of it, but most I didn't. Tanimoto sensei, Nihonjin desu ka? The translator asked. Is Tanimoto sensei Japanese? Well, I think he is of Japanese descent, but he is American. Where is he now? I think he went back to Washington. Without waiting for the translation, everyone in the room practically jumped out of their chairs. Washington? I could see it in their faces and behavior. They must have thought I was spinning a wild international web of lies over a rusty bicycle. After that, they asked me to come upstairs. My girlfriend has just arrived. I still remember that feeling, seeing her walking into that police station hallway. I felt like Princess Peach being rescued by Mario. She had taken a taxi, which is expensive, maybe the price of that rusty bicycle, and was still in her office business suit. There she was, marching into the police station to claim her Gaijin, her foreigner. The arresting officer said, "Akiko-san!" He recognized her instantly from my iPhone wallpaper. After a talk, she signed a waiver taking full responsibility for me, and we were finally allowed to go home. I avoided spending the night behind the bars in a jail cell, but that old rusty bike had to stay behind in police custody. A few days later, the police called Akiko back. We walked into the Kanda police station, and it wasn't just the arresting officer waiting for us. It was the chief of police and the rest of the top brass, and they apologized by giving a massive synchronized deep Japanese bow. I was blown away. I bowed back while mixing English and my bad Japanese, saying, No, please don't apologize. Otsukare-sama desu. You are doing great job. My bicycle was stolen in Lisbon a few months before I came to Japan, and when I went to the police there, nobody cared. Thank you for taking this so seriously. We all bowed again, and I finally walked out of there with my rusty bike. Turns out, they actually tracked the story down globally. They tried to contact the professor in Washington, but discovered he had actually gone to New Zealand first. They reached him there, and he confirmed everything. He had given the bike to Rob, and before that, the bike actually belonged to his wife, who had bought it from another foreigner lady who was living in Japan at the time. She was the one who had bought it brand new, and that was the only registration even tied to the bike. Going back home that day, I wondered, why do they go to such incredible lengths over a worthless, rusty old bike? And it hit me. That is the beauty of living in Japan. The fact that the police will launch a multi-continental investigation over a single bicycle is exactly why this is one of the safest places in the world. In the end, I realized I was the one at fault here. I should have checked the rules carefully. We are allowed to stay here for a time, whether as a short-term tourist or a full permanent resident like me. The least we can do is learn about the rules and follow them. including the language and the culture. So always follow the rules and be respectful if you don't want your permit to be revoked. And definitely make sure your friend's name isn't Rob when a police asks where you got your ride. This is enough for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just one of the many things that happened to me here. If you would like to see more, please like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share it with your friends. Until we meet again, Matane.